Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today and gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to be able to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth, so that we may better yet understand the events the Most High is about to soon bring on the earth. This dude right here is just a gift that keeps on giving. I guess, he went on another, pastor's channel and spilled the beans some more and was actually, what's the title of this video? Hinn says he was trapped and pressured to preach prosperity gospel. I'll leave the link in the description box, but you better watch it quick because it got taken down off of some other channel. And it popped up again, so I wanted to make sure I kind of brought this video out before it had a chance to be taken off again. Now these people are being forced to, these prosperity preachers and a lot of these other pastors are being moved by the Most High to give us some truths mixed in with their lies. And that's how we have to pretty much look at everything at this point. You're going to get some truth mixed in with a lot of lies. And today we're going to be showing one of the huge lies that actually has been hidden. And we're going to be getting into actually the fact that there was actually records of Noah coming over here to the Americas and dividing up the land between the three sons. So we're actually going to be getting into that for a little bit today. But before we kind of get into that, I just want you to understand how these people work. Because we're going to listen to a little bit of what Hinn was talking about. And what it is these guys always love to be able to say, I'm sorry, but then putting absolutely no action behind it. Kind of like, you guys had just better be happy that we're even saying that we're sorry. No, I'm not going to give you your money back. No, I'm not going to give you your land back. Just be happy that I acknowledge that, hey, I might have done a little something wrong to you, but that's all you're going to get from us. And that's why I want to kind of look at this, because I want you to he talks about how this whole world believes in recompense, how he wants to recompense things. He thinks it's as easy as just saying, yeah, I don't believe that anymore. And what was funny on the last video was when Hinn was admitting that, yeah, I don't believe in the same doctrine or the Bible saying the same thing I believe, that it said 20 years ago. I didn't believe my beliefs have changed from the last 20 years. And you got all these coons and people in the stands just clapping. I was like, if you've been lying to me for 20 years, why in the hell would I be clapping because now you just admitting it to me? I would be pretty pissed if I had been giving you money and supporting you for 20 years and it come to find out that you've been lying to me the whole time. That's kind of like a woman telling you that that's your baby and you raise the baby up for 15 to 20 years. And on his 20th birthday, mom says, hey, you know what? Yeah, the baby's not yours. It's actually somebody else's, and you've been taking care of this baby for the last 20 years, and it's not even yours. Kind of like a Jerry Springer show. You think you'd be just clapping and, oh, well, thank you for letting me know that, and a little clap and walk off? Now, I would think that you'd be pretty pissed. And so it's just funny to sit there and just listen to these people and their reaction to things. These guys, people are telling you they've been lying to you and scamming us for all this time. And the crowd just claps. And you know why they do that? Because of this. White Jesus. It's always, that pops in your mind. When they say, I'm sorry, and the first thing our people are like, well, we got to forgive them. They said they're sorry. That's why. White Jesus pops in your mind. That's why they think they can just say, I'm sorry, and with no action whatsoever. And you're just supposed to believe them. And then they get to maintain their positions of authority. Like the dude never said anything about, hey, you know what? I'm going to step away from the ministry. I've been lying to you for 20 years. I don't deserve to be in this position anymore. Nah, he didn't say any of that. He didn't go that far. He just said, yeah, I've been lying to you guys for 20 years. yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I'm not going to give you your money back. I'm not going to do anything to, try to remedy the situation. I'm just going to continue teaching from here forward. I'm just going to change it up a little bit. And our people are just like, wow, that was a big man. That was big of him. That was so nice of him to sit there and tell us that he's been lying to us for the last 20 years. Because this pops into your mind. But how we have to forgive. We have to forgive. And I said, those days are done. This is why the Most High said that the scriptures, all of the scriptures, are ours. The only people that have been allowed to teach them, that would be us. They're not allowed to even have our scriptures because this is what they do. They destroy it, they manipulate it, and then when they get caught with all their BS, they just think that they can just say, I'm sorry, why Jesus, and we'll just keep moving forward and I'll stay in my position of power and you guys will still just listen to me. So you've lost that card. You've lost that right. And the Most High is going to make sure that he's going to recompense. So what I want to do is I'm going to play a little, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the interview. I'll definitely leave the video in the description box. It's about 20 minutes, and I want to thank my brother who actually sent me the video. He sent it to me yesterday, and I kind of checked it out, and it's just absolutely amazing. We're going to start around the 9-minute and 20-second mark and just kind of listen to him and listen to how he wants to fix all of his errors for the last, 20, 30 years of his ministry. Check out how he wants to fix it. And this is exactly what they've been doing the entire time.
Before I'm gone, will you preach the gospel? That's what I want, because nobody's preaching the cross. Someone has to preach it again. And it's just not me. It's you and so many others. And to be honest with you, the only people today preaching the real message are people like Franklin Graham, Jack Graham in Dallas. The Baptist pastors are the ones preaching the real message.
Why would we even listen to who he says is preaching the real message at this point? Said you've lost all credibility, lost all trustworthiness when you admit that you've been lying for the last 20 years. So you've been lying for the last 20 years, but now you get to tell us who's really teaching the truth? Let's continue.
You ever hear a Baptist minister say the nonsense you hear today in other circles? And because it is nonsense. It's not the word. So you hear these amazing servants of the Lord, the Franklin Grahams, the Robert Morris in Dallas and from Gateway, and others. What a precious word they're giving, and they're standing strong for the Lord Jesus. I'm so glad. Okay,
for this Jesus.
Now, let's add to their voices. Let's be another voice. You be another voice. That we preach the cross of Jesus. We have to preach the cross again. And the cross means to deny these things. Deny self and the world. Well, how can you say, I'm carrying my cross, and yet you're saying things that don't line up with that?
He's saying you like it wasn't him. Like somebody else has been saying these things. You see, these little things that they do. Well, how can you say these things when your life doesn't, fit within the Bible? That was you. That wasn't somebody else. That wasn't the you is you. But see, that's what happens. Anything this dude says at this point going forward should be null and void. Should mean absolutely nothing. But he still is up on a stage, thousands of people listening to him after he's done told you that he's done lied to you about everything. Let's continue.
That's the problem. So yes, I've caused quite a stir, and some of them, whoever the them are not happy with me.
It's them. They're not happy with me. Like he's an outsider. Like, hey, some of those people aren't happy with me. Like, dude, you are those people. But see, you mentioned a little something. He mentioned a little something. All of a sudden, now he's an outsider. Now he's one of us. kind of like a billionaire saying like he's like for the regular people, and people actually believe in that, like he's one of us. Like you know, crack a beer with him and go hang out with him on the weekend and go watch a football game with a billionaire because he's like one of you. Like this guy here who's been lying, who's been just milking the whole world for millions upon millions of dollars. And he's now one of us because he just admitted to the fact that he's been lying to you for the last 20 years. So now he's one of us. Come on now.
Doesn't move me at all. I want one person to be happy with me. Him. That's it.
Yeah, too late.
So
this is the part right here. Pay attention.
I'm not going to change my stand. No, never. But people may still see the remnants of the past and, see, Benny changed his mind. No. That's a teaching that's still running around out there. Someone running an old program and they think I'm saying it again. Never. And I told my staff, I said, you cannot put anything in the mail that I don't believe no more. You can't put anything on This Is Your Day that I don't believe anymore. You cannot. You will not. And they're doing their best to make sure they go back in the history of the thousands and thousands of programs and tapes to remove things I don't want in there. I don't want any next generation to see an old tape and say, oh my Lord, look what he said there. It's not going to happen. So we're going to erase it. It's going to take us a long time to clean all the stuff. But with the technology today, maybe we can do it quicker. I don't know. Let's hope. But
okay. Now, did you pick up what he just said? We're going to go back and erase all the stuff that I don't agree with anymore. Well, Benny, that would mean you'd have to get rid of pretty much everything you've taught for the last 20, 30 years. You'd have to get rid of absolutely everything. And for these people, it's just as easy as, well, yeah, I just told my staff we're going to go back and erase everything that I don't agree with now. Is that not exactly what they've done with our history? They just gone back and erased all of our history and rewrote their own history. This is exactly what they're notorious for. And these guys actually admitting exactly what they do. Yeah, I don't agree with that anymore, so I'm just going to go back and just get rid of all that information. Yeah, I don't believe that we actually had you guys in slavery. You guys were, what do they say now? Unpaid apprentices. So now we're going to put those in books now. Yeah, we don't really believe that, the Native Americans, that we actually really slaughtered them, but they actually just died of diseases and we did it on accident because we didn't know they would get, sick. So we're just going to change all that history. This is exactly what this guy is talking about doing now with his ministry. So you're going to get rid of all of your tapes and all your information, everything that you've taught, because that's what you're going to pretty much have to do. Because that's what you've been, your whole ministry has been set up about prosperity and making money. So what would be left? You see, this is exactly what's been going on this entire time. Things that they don't agree with, they just get rid of. They don't have to. So you're going to keep all the money though, right? Are you going to get rid of all that money that you were spending? No, of course not. You're not going to give that all back to the people, right? But you're going to just go forward from here with all the money, with all the status still, and just give some lip service about prosperity teaching. You see, they're just absolutely ridiculous. Let's continue. Almost done.
But I'm going to close with this because I think it's going to get late here. And we are going to have communion, right? We'll do it next week. Okay. But, dear Michael, I want to point to one thing. Let's forget the prosperity matter right now, the blessings of God matter, which I already said, and I don't want to ever talk about it again. I'm done talking. So,
what?
I said it. It's done. No more. Thank you, Michael, for letting me. Now.
That's it. I said it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's done. This is the kind of garbage that white Jesus allows them to do. And of course, there's going to be a bunch of people clapping in the stands this here.
But now can I take a few more minutes?
No, you can't take any more time. This is what they do. So you've been lying about absolutely everything. Now it's like, well, it's all in a nutshell. We're going to erase all the stuff that I've done and act like it never happened. And then I said it once. Yeah, I was wrong. And I'm never going to talk about it again. Let's move on. Do you guys really think it's going to be that simple? That you just hide all this information, hide all your lies, and then because this is exactly why the Most High does not allow you, other nations, to dictate your punishment, because you will hold yourselves not guilty on everything. How many of our people have scrimped and saved and try to send you their last dime to try to get a blessing, and you've enjoyed the fruits of all that for decades, and now you just think it's just as easy as, hey, I'm going to go back and erase some tapes, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We're done with it. I talked about it. We're done. Nah, not working like that. But I brought that out because I wanted to show you something that's been hidden. You know, they're really good at just, hey, let's just hide this information and we'll just move on from here. Here's right here. Check this out. We're going to start with Jubilees because I'm going to show you how there's actually information about how Noah came here to the Americas and actually separated the lands, divided the lands. And we know exactly what happens because we know that if you divided up the lands, if you went and took someone else's land, that you had cursed yourself and your seed until the Most High sends his son back. So let's read a little bit of here, just Jubilees. This is, I think, Jubilees 8. We're going to start at 11 and read down to 21. And the main thing is to show you about what Shem received. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it's more so talking about what Shem received. Okay? Let's start with 10. And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee that they divided the earth into 3 parts for Shem and Ham and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each. In the first year, in the first week, when one of us who had been sent was with them. So they're dividing up the entire earth, okay? And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him, they and their children. And he divided the earth, not just, the 3 parts, but all 4 parts, okay? Divided the earth into the lots, which his 3 sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands and took the writing out of the bosom of Noah, their father. And there came forth in the writing as Shem's lot, the middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons, for the generations of eternity. Okay, this is for forever. From the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water, from the river Tina, and his portion goes toward the west through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abysses, out of which this river goes forth and pours its water into the sea, Miat, and this river flows into the great sea. And all that is towards the north is Japheth's, and all that is towards the Negev belongs to Shem, and it extends till it reaches Carasso. This is in the bosom of the tongue which looks towards the Negev. Okay? And his portion extends along the great sea, and it extends in a straight line till it reaches the west of the tongue, which towards the Negev, for this sea named the tongue of the Mitzri Sea. All right, I don't need to read all of this. Let's go ahead and go on down to 16. And it extends towards the east till it reaches the Garden of Eden, to the south thereof, to the south and from the east of the whole land of Eden and of the whole east. It turns to the east and proceeds till it reaches the east of the mountain named Rapha, and it descends to the bank of the mouth of the river Tina. All right, this portion came forth by lot for Shem and his sons, that they should possess it forever unto his generations forevermore. And Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem and for his sons, and he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy. For he had said, Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Shem, and may Yahweh dwell in the dwelling of Shem. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies, and the dwelling of Yahweh, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. These 3 were created as holy places, facing each other. And he blessed the Elohim of Elohim, who had put the word of Yahweh into his mouth, and Yahweh forevermore. And he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem and his sons and to the generations forevermore. The whole land of Eden and the whole land of the Red Sea and the whole land of the east and India and on the Red Sea and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan and all the land of Lebanon and the islands of Kaftor and all the mountains of Sinira and Ammana and the mountains of Ashura and north and all the land of Elam, Asher, and Babel, and Shushan, and Madai, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur, towards the north, a blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good. Now, when he was talking about all the things, all the lands that actually Shem was about to inherit, it was about the equivalent of half of the landmass of the earth. And when he talks about what Ham got and what what Ham got, right, and what Japheth got, it was like a quarter of the earth. All right, so Shem got about half, and then Ham got a quarter, and Japheth got a quarter. But looking in, what they tell us is, hold on, he got some little itty bitty little place right here. But then the Most High went ahead and gave Ham all of this, and then gives, the Europeans or whoever, Japheth and them, all of this. Okay? All of this. Ham this, and all of this right here, right? And this one little itty bitty little bit right here for the 12 tribes. But then when you listen to it, it's like, man, it's super duper long. It's just really, really like a lot of information about all the different borders. Okay? Doesn't make any sense because it's not supposed to, because it's a lie. That's why. Let's go back to where we were at. Now, real quick, let's take a look at 9. Jubilees chapter 9. Let me see here. I want to start. I want to say it's the top right there. No, 14. Skip on down to 14. And thus the sons of Noah divided unto their sons in the presence of Noah their father, and he bound them all by an oath, imprecating a curse on everyone that sought to seize the portion which had not fallen to him by his lot. And they all said, so be it for themselves and their sons forever, throughout their generations, till the day of judgment, on which Yahweh Elohim shall judge them with a sword and with fire, for all the unclean wickedness of their errors, wherewith they have filled the earth with transgression, and uncleanness, and fornication, and sin. Now that's exactly what has been happening. That's what the world is full of now. And this was something that was already established a long time ago. Now, when you read in 8, it talks about how Noah was dividing up the entire earth. Well, if you listen to Europeans, they make it sound like the Americas was no one's land, and whoever got here could just take it. And then pretty much the division of the lands was only just talked about the 3 parts that was already given over there, in the European area, China area, and Africa. Those were the only, places that they said that Noah divided up the lands. Well, I'm going to show you an account today that shows that actually Noah came over here and divided up the lands as well. And the fact that this was hidden, just like all this information was hidden, just like how Benny Hinn is trying to do with all of his sermons from the before. That was something that's going to be hidden. This was actually coming out of my Ancient America and the Book of Mormon. Right here. Let me see. I think this is page 27 in that book. Let me make sure. Yes. Okay. Check this out. Earliest Toltecas, the ancient ones, the Jaredites, came from the Tower of Babel. Certain other ancient native accounts from southern Mexico indicate that the earliest artisans of Middle America came from Babel and the Chaldean country. One of the most important was a hieroglyphic manuscript referred to by the Spaniards, who knew of it as the Probanza de Votan, meaning proof of the genealogy of Votan. As late as the 18th century, it was in the hands of Nuño de la Vega, a Catholic priest who had been Bishop of Chiapas in southern Mexico before publishing in Rome in 1702. His Constituciones Diocenas del Obispado de Chiapa. In the latter work, he refers to one of the earliest traditional colonizers, Votan, as follows. Now check this part out right here. Votan is the third Gentile place on the calendar of the Zendal Mayas, and in the historical manuscript Probanza de Votan, written in the Indian language, are mentioned stops and towns where he was, and he is said to have seen the Great Wall, which is the Tower of Babel, which by the command of Noah, his grandfather, was made from the earth to the sky, and who was the first man God sent to divide and distribute this land of the Indies. And there where he saw the Great Wall was given to each nation its different language. That is absolutely huge information right there. Shows you again, let me read that part again. And who was the first man God sent to divide and distribute this land of the Indies. So this is showing you how it is written in their own languages over here and their hieroglyphics that Noah came over here and divided up these lands. So if Noah already had come over here, because it says in Jubilees 8 that he divided up the entire earth, we were led to believe that he only divided up the lands over there that they knew about, that the rest of the world knew about, but that he never came over here and divided up lands. Well, the natives in their own writing had the fact that Noah actually came over here and divided the lands. So if these lands were already subjugated to certain individuals, certain groups, they're already given, they're already spoken for, what's going to happen to the people who came and took their lands? What does it say again in 15? Actually, 14 and 15. And thus the sons of Noah divided unto their sons in the presence of Noah their father, and he bound them all, not just some of them, all by an oath, imprecating a curse on everyone that sought to seize a portion which had not fallen to him by his lot. So if someone came over here and took lands that was not theirs, that had already been divided up by Noah, what are they going to get? Cursed. And who's going to get cursed? Is it just the person that did it or their children? Imprecating a curse on everyone that sought to seize the portion which had not fallen to him by his lot. And they all said, so be it, for themselves and their sons forever, throughout their generations, till the day of judgment, on which Yahweh Elohim shall judge them with a sword and with fire, and for all the unclean wickedness of their errors. So, just like Benny Hinn over here, you get to come over here, take possession of our land, take our resources, then just say that you're sorry, and then you get to keep all of our stuff? Nah, man, that's not happening like that. That's not how it's going to happen. That's not how it's going to roll, and that's not how the Most High is going to finish the story. See that you don't get to decide, you don't get to dictate or decide how your punishment is going to go. You can't go back and just, erase everything. Just like you guys try to do with the history, you got to go back and just erase all the history. Let's just hide these books. Let's make these books $1,000, $2,000 so they can't read them. The Most High is going to bring it out no matter what. So that's why this is huge right here. All right? Let me read that part again, which by the command of Noah, his grandfather, was made from the earth to the sky, and who was the first man God sent to divide and distribute this land of the Indies. That's huge. And there where he saw the Great Wall was given to each nation its different language. So now we're showing you that these lands over here also were distributed, also divvied up. This is all part of what you just read about. When you read about it in the Bible about how the lands were divided up by lots, that's so you got the Bible version. Now you got Jubilees, which expands it even more. And now you got over here, this information right here showing you that the natives had the account of it happening over here and how Noah came over here and divided the lands here. Now, this is huge. If this wasn't true, this wouldn't happen. Check out what happens next. Okay? Check out what happens to this man's information later on. The hieroglyphic manuscript of Votan has been lost. Oh, how convenient. So all this guy's work has just been lost? Wow, who lost it? I wonder who just got rid of all this information. Let's see. Perhaps it was a victim of the ignorance that was responsible for many such tragic literary losses during the Spanish Inquisition. So hold on. So is this? Why are we listening to these people? These people have done nothing but lie and hide and suppress information this entire time. They've been concealing everything, but then our people will still go to them and want them to tell them about white Jesus and how to get to heaven. Let's continue. I'm going to read it again. The hieroglyphic manuscript of Votan has been lost. Perhaps it was a victim of the ignorance. And now it's just ignorance. No, it was on purpose. It wasn't on accident. Okay? That was responsible for many such tragic literary losses during the Spanish Inquisition. At any rate, it disappeared. You see how they just kind of just, at any rate, it disappeared. Kind of like Benny Hinn. At any rate, yeah, I messed up, but at any rate, yeah, what do I do now? I'll just erase it and keep on moving. This is how they roll. And all those people in the stands clapping, I said, you're going to get exactly what you deserve because you don't think and you don't think for yourself. You don't want to actually, you might have to be a little uncomfortable. You might have to actually renounce what you've been taught your whole life. You might need to actually go and do some research and study, but you want someone like this guy to guide you, who's doing nothing but lying to you. That's all these Gentiles, all they do is lie to us. And so many of our people will sit there and just, okay, all right, okay. He must know. He reads the Bible. I'm like, you can read it. Pray to the Most High. Pray He sends the Holy Spirit. Pray that you start to listen to people who actually the Most High has sent, as opposed to the people who the devil has sent. Well, I like that though. At any rate, it disappeared, as did the most complete work compiled directly from it. The historical writings of Don Ramon de Ordóñez y Aguiar. Ordóñez was a resident priest in the town Ciudad Real in Chiapas, one of the southernmost states of Mexico. Don Ramon wrote a 2-volume work, the first on the history and the second on the religion of the ancients of the Chiapas region. Now check this part out. This should let you know if this information was real or not about Noah, okay? About the year 1803, he sent his manuscript to Spain to be printed. And let's find out exactly what happened to that information, because I'm sure they would definitely want to make sure this information gets out. He never saw it again and died not knowing what had become of it. It is possible that it was suppressed. However, the first portion, which deals with the religion of the ancient Americas, has survived in Mexico, apparently from a duplicate of the original, which went to Spain. Thus, the title of his 2-volume work has been preserved, and from it we see that working from the Pobreza de Votan, Don Ramon tells, let me read at least that last sentence there, of the earliest immigrants coming across the ocean from Babylon after the building of the Tower of Babel. Okay, so a lot of this information right here, they just suppressed. But our people still go to these people to tell them the truth. I mean, it gets really ridiculous to even sit here and just think about this after a while. That's the whole thing, is that they want to screw everything up. They want to hide all the information. And then when they do admit a little something, we're just supposed to automatically forgive them and move on and let them continue in their same positions of power, same positions of influence, just like Benny Hinn wants to. You see how this works? Like it's in all different aspects of our life. In all different aspects. It's all over the place. It's the same thing. Make a mistake. All right, well, I'll say I'm sorry. I'm going to say it once. Don't ask me again. Don't bring it up again. But I'm going to keep everything that I've accumulated this whole time. And you guys are going to, praise me for it because I was such a, I was so big and, you know, I was just so righteous that I actually admitted that I made a mistake. But you got to see, this is what happens when they only have the Bible. So they had to make the whole Bible and everything in the Bible fit right here. So when you're reading about the Most High having Noah divide the lands, you're only thinking about this right here. When you're thinking about how all of the the revelation and all of the prophecy has to happen in the Bible, you're thinking primarily of this map right here. Because everything revolves around this land right here, this land mass right here, and everything has to fit right here. That's why Israel is some little itty bitty little area right here. But then you read Jubilees and it's like half the world. Well, that's not half the world right there. Okay? So that cannot be what the Most High has given us as far as our inheritance. Because the other nations only got a quarter of the world. So it can't just be this right here. It makes no sense anymore. And that's why when people are like, well, all 12 tribes, 11 tribes have to still be here because this is all the map that we have. You're pretty much operating on one little small part of the map that the three parts that the Europeans or the Gentiles knew of. The whole Bible has to fit that. Everything has to fit right here. So that's why they believe that 11 tribes are still here and now only Judah got scattered. Because everything has to fit this map because this is all that they knew. They were only aware of the three parts. They were not aware of the fourth. So now all the stuff happening over here, all the prophecy happening over here, they don't even talk about. They won't even acknowledge because they're stuck on this map right here. That's all they know. That's why I said the stuff happening over here, this is not where the prophecy is predominantly going to be happening. It's going to be over here with these people. This is where it's going to begin. The knowledge and understanding being poured out, it's going to happen over here. Not right here. And the people who are telling you all this stuff are the ones that have been lying to you this entire time. The ones that have been suppressing all of our information. So if they're suppressing all this information, if they knew already that Noah had come over here to the Americas and divided up the land, then they already knew that as soon as they step foot, they've opened up their children and then, to be cursed. Very, very simple. But when they give you white Jesus and if they had to submit anything, you've got to forgive them. Why don't we apply those kinds of things to our own people? That's what comes in their mind. White Jesus. Got to forgive them. We got to forgive them. This is what happens. If you think about it like this. If you go to a court and you are accused of a crime, if you go and testify, many people are not going to believe. Your believability is going to be, down the dumps because they're assuming that if they accused you of something, that you probably did something, right? That's usually how it works in our court system. You have very little integrity, and very few people are going to believe you. If you are convicted of a felony and you go to a court and people realize you're a convicted felon, are they going to believe you? Of course not. God forbid that you have to go up and have, a court case and it's going to be your word against the police officers. Because God forbid, police officers would never lie, right? Yeah. But the fact that you're a convicted felon means that no one's going to believe you. Your trustworthiness is going to be, in the trash, in the garbage. Because no one believes that you're going to tell the truth. Right? So like I said, so if you were to go to court and you had a court case and it was against like your word against a cop, you already know that you're going to lose that battle, right? Okay. Now, think about the other nations. Have they done more than just committed one crime? No, they've committed millions of crimes. But we still believe everything that they say. I'm sorry, they got to be the worst convicted felons with all the stuff they've been hiding, all this information they've been suppressing. all the lies they've been telling us in the churches, that I would think that at this point you would just pretty much ignore everything because they have lost all integrity. And there's even all the way to this point, they still are not telling you the truth. Benny Hinn's still not telling you that, hey, you know what? These are the real people of the Most High. The people of color here that we've been suppressing and keeping at the bottom. These are the real people of the Most High. He's not going to tell you that those are the ones that you need to be learning from. No, because he still wants the money. He still wants that prestige. He still wants that power that comes with that. And as long as they push white Jesus to our people, they're quick to try to forgive anything that they do. But they'll attack us for trying to bring them the truth. They'll call us crazy, but the people who've been hiding all their records and all their information, they'll never say anything bad about them. You know, these people are telling you that they're lying. They're telling you that they've been suppressing the truth. So why would you even listen to anything that they have to say? You know, they've taken everything from us. They hide all of our information. But our people still will believe them. You know, they stifle the truth. They stifle information coming out. They censor everything. But we should still give them the benefit of the doubt because of white Jesus. This is what white Jesus does. You know, people want to sit there and say, well, it's not about color. People, this pops in their mind, especially the ones who aren't not in this truth. This is what pops up in their mind all the time. White Jesus. Okay? So that's why I wanted to just bring this quick video out today, because I want you to see that the way that Benny Hinn was talking about how he's going to, you know, pretty much make amends is just by deleting all of his information and not talking about his, you know, his shortcomings anymore. That's pretty much what they've been doing this entire time. When they mess up and they mess our people up, it's, yeah, we said we're sorry. Don't bring it. I said it once, and I'm just going to ignore all the history, and we'll just move on from there. That's what we've been dealing with now this entire time. But the Most High is now exposing so much information. I wanted to bring out this quick video just to show you about Noah coming to the Americas. And there's actually information written down about it, because I think that's pretty mind-blowing information right there. And the fact that they went out of their way to suppress all this information and never allowed any of it to come out. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.